Traditionally, they tend to come out on top of race 2, which run by any qualifiers. Key to their chances this weekend is getting that pace and tingle on the qualifying session and out of the competition, equally staying in the opening stint for the opening race. Run by any yellow. This is an important weekend. Yeah, we will indeed.
Hello and welcome everyone. Take two. Alright, so we're back for season number 2 of 2023 for the Race on Oz Monday Night PC League. My name is Nick and I'm going to be taking you through the next hour and a bit, maybe hour and a half, a little bit longer, for round number 1 in Valencia, one of the new circuits to the game. So always good to go to a new circuit. And we'll be kicking that off in around about 4 minutes. But before we do that, let's just acknowledge last season's winners. So, as this is a new season, but let's just take a little bit of time to reflect on last season. So, it was Andrew Lawrenson who took out the championship last season overall. It was a dominant display. So, he had 6 wins and 2 second places. He did finish 90 points clear on top there. So in the end, it was quite a dominating victory for him. So big congratulations to Andrew Lawrenson. He did it in a BMW last season. I think I've seen him in something else. He's in a Porsche this season. So, which we'll get to a little bit later on in terms of the team's championship and how that's changed. Our silver champion for season 1 of 2023 was Anthony Cesana. So another picture of consistency. So 2 class wins, 3 second places, 1 third place and 2 fifths. So big congratulations to Anthony Cesana, last season's silver class winner. And then James Mack, who took out the AM class. He had 3 class victories, 5 second places and 1 third place. So once again, a picture of consistency among all those 3 drivers, and a big congratulations to all 3 of them who took out the championship in their respective classes last season. Let's take a look at the circuit. So it's a 14-turn circuit. The Valencia track, as I mentioned, it is new to the game. The DLC only came out a few weeks ago now. So not too sure how much practice these guys have been able to get in here. Really, really nice, smooth track. Some tricky corners in there, especially in that Sector 2 part of the track. And then also Turn 12 has proved to be an area where cars can get caught out. There's a bit of a bump on the apex there. So hopefully no cars get caught out there tonight. And then also track invalidation. When I streamed it anyway, there was a bit of an issue, so we'll see if that repeats itself this evening. Less than 2 minutes away from kicking this off, just a little bit of housekeeping. So some of the new rules for this season. So one of the first introductions is ballast. So there'll be a ballast added to the first, second and third place getters. Class winners will also get a ballast penalty as well. So for first place, it's a 5 kilo ballast. Second place, it's a 3 kilo ballast. And third is a 2 kilo ballast. The ballast is cumulative and does not expire until the end of the season as well. So any new ballast is added to a driver's existing ballast up to a maximum of 30 kilos. So Andrew Lawrenson might have a bit of ballast this season. In the event that a class winner is also on the overall podium, they only receive the class winner ballast. So a little bit of a caveat there. In terms of the championship, so we had the team's championship. That's out. What is in is the manufacturer's team championship. So drivers are automatically team members with anyone else driving the same car. So if you're in a Porsche, someone else is in a Porsche, you're automatically teammates. How the points will work is the top 3 drivers for the manufacturer will score points. So depending on the manufacturer's spread, it might be open to being changed later on in the season. This is to encourage teammates to share setups and share tips and tricks that are racing in the same manufacturer. So that's a little bit of a new feature to this season, which is not far from getting started. So as you can see, we've got 23 cars on the grid right now. Apologies to James, Mack and Heath and Scotland. I did download your liveries. It worked in my gallery, but I don't know why it doesn't work in the lobby for some reason. So, James Pierre Reed, good luck everyone in the chat. Wanted to put this track near the end so I could enjoy it at the end of the season when I get back. I believe he's away overseas at the moment, ticking off some bucket list tracks by the look of it. And Paulie is in there as well. And yeah, we're not far from getting this one started. As you can see, Andrew Lawrenson, top of the times, where he's been a lot over last season, and we've become quite accustomed to seeing him there. So he's just finishing a lap. There he goes. So 1:31
Green light. Go.
was the fastest time of the session, which is about to kick off. So cars making their way out on circuit now. One of them's Chris Hildebrand. He's got an in-game livery. Had the maroon livery last season. Driving... Was he driving an Aston? I can't remember. Who else is out there? Peter Wall is out there in the Aston Martin. So a couple of teammates, Hildebrand and Peter Wall. Matt Frost, 666 in the Audi this season. John Stockton finally got his livery to work here. From my end, Fire and Ice. It's quite a nice looking livery indeed. Oh, who else out there? Paul Huddy. So he was a newcomer last season, so great to see him back. James Mack. Once again, I apologise for lack of livery. I'll have to get that sorted for next week. Terry Rayton, have a look out for a livery. The Laundry House. See if we can get a closer look on that. And they're on the grid. Max Ricker, that's a new name. A new name to me anyway. He could have been an old Ruse member, but he's a new name for this season. Herbachon, as per usual. James Bridgens, he's another new name. So welcome, unless it might also be the case that I just don't know him. Might be an older member. But let's kick it off. Let's kick around this circuit. We go on board with Matt Frost. He's going to give us the first hot lap of the season. A 1:31 was the fastest time by Andrew Lawrenson. And he's invalidated his lap. All right, so lap invalidations can be a bit of an issue around here. Chris Hildebrand is going to pick up where Matt Frost left off. And no, here we go. Peter Wall. Will it be third time's a charm? Hopefully. He hasn't invalidated his lap. He's going through 4 and 5 now. Up through the left-hander of turn 6. Hear the distinctive note, that V8 in the Aston. Looking nice and smooth so far. Welcome to everyone in the chat as well, and the viewers. Hope you've all had a good Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. If you haven't already, I think we're like 3 or 4 people away from 500 subscribers, which would be an absolutely awesome effort for the league to get 500 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please do so. I think we need 3 or 4. I think it's maybe 4. To get to 500 would be an amazing effort, as Peter Wall goes to the top of the times, a 32.9 for him. John Stockton is going to get up there as well, 32.4 for him. Huddy, a little bit slower than those two. What about Simeon Coco? What has he got for us in the BMW? Yeah, not too bad. Terry Rayton, you were on my radar. Where are you? Let me pick someone else up here. Wally Masterson, another BMW driver, teammate of Ricker. Here's Strelnikov, 777 Ferrari. He goes up into P2, so a rapid start from him. What about Paul Russell? I like this livery as well, the Jack Daniels. He's had Monster Energy. He had He's got Jack Daniels on there looking nice. He had the Buzz and Hornets last season. Was in the Audi as well last season, going to the Porsche this time around. Neil Fakeney in the number 9 Lamborghini. Where are we? Chris Hildebrandt. So Hay hasn't invalidated his lap on this one around. Let's see what he can do. Andrew Lawrenson sitting top of the times. I did miss that one. My apologies. A 30.8, so already faster than what we saw in the free practice session. Where does Chris Hildebrandt come out? P9, so good start from him. Lawrenson's out there at the moment, or has he gone into the pits? Not too sure. We'll wait and see. Ricker goes up into P4. No, wrong one. Huddy, you beat me to it. Where's he gone? Yeah, he's gone up there into P12. Bridgens in the 146 Ferrari. Doesn't improve on his time. What about Scotland? Harley Scotland, P18. Got a few more AM drivers as well this season, which is good to see. One of them is this man here, Herbertron in the Ferrari. Was in the McLaren last season. Moved across. That tail getting very happy on the exit of turn 14. Keeps it all together though. Good enough for P20 at the moment. What have we got? 9 minutes left in the session. Setting the grid for Season 2, Race 1. Matt Frost climbing the curbs there, out of 12 into 13, the long left-hander. And it sweeps down hard on the brakes, using all the track available. Open up that apex. Open up the corner, hit the apex, run through. He's up on his best time right now. Not good enough to move up the timetable. Peter Wall, 2/10 up into P9. Hang on. Neil Fakeney is off. What about Andrew Lawrenson? No, he's just on a setup lap at the moment. Nando Latenzio. Let's see the silver driver. He goes up into P7. Terry Rayton, he's got the Laundry House wild livery as well. He's 4/10 up on his best time. Going to get him on the front row of the grid at the moment. And it does. P2, so good start from him. Terry Rayton. What about Mark Hurley? He's marginally better than his best time. Who else is up at the moment? Carlos Dominiak, he's up by 10th. That's not going to be enough to move him up a spot. So P11 is where he will remain for now. Matt Frost is out there. Yeah, let's pick up him up. He's 2/10 up on his best time of a 1:31.8. That would be good enough to possibly put him on the second row of the grid if he can hold this pace. Bit bumpy through turn 12 as we saw before. He's actually improved. Could he get onto the second row of the grid here? We're about to find out. P5, so just misses out. Andrew Lawrenson is on a lap right now, not improving on his best time of a 30.805. 7 minutes remaining in the session. So time ticking by. Start to get to the business end of things very, very shortly. Everyone seems to be in the middle of a lap right now. Maybe we'll stick with Andrew Lawrenson, our reigning champion. Six race wins last season. He's lost a bunch of time through there and he's aborted that lap, so let's go over to Carlos Dominiak. He'll improve marginally, but not good enough to move up the timetables. Herbertron, he's on 7/10 up. He goes up into P16. So nice work from him. What about Anthony Cesana? He invalidated his lap at the probably on the last corner there, I think. So James Mack. Once again, apologies for the no livery. Like I said, I can see it in the in the gallery, but I can't see it on the track for some reason. So I had the same issue last season with John Stockton. So hopefully we can get it rectified for the next round, because it is quite a nice looking livery. His time's looking pretty good at the moment as well. Currently P8, moves up into P6. Nice work from him. Andrew Lawrenson has started another lap. Let's go take 2, shall we? So just a tick over 5 minutes. Hey, no Bruno Gallo tonight. Just a name that I noticed missing. Hope Bruno's doing well. He was sort of in and out last season. He missed a couple of races and he came back for the end of the season. So hopefully he makes an appearance again. Andrew Lawrenson as well has gone to the Trusted Drivers Panel. So a new member of the TDP. Oh, that's a big slide out of 12. And once again, aborts his lap. Oh, let's go over to Peter Hatfield. So as mentioned, he's a new name I've not seen before, but like I said, could be an older Ruse member. Up into P14. So strong start from him. Lots of red on my screen at the moment. Hildebrand, he's got a bit of green next to his name. He's almost 2 tenths up. Be good enough to move him up a spot or two. Down in 16th right now. 4 minutes remaining in qualifying. It's Lawrenson, Strelnikov, Rayton, Russell, Frost, Mack, Ricker, Latenzio, Fakeney and Wall. We've got 3 Ferraris, 2 Porsches, an Audi, a BMW, an Aston and a Lamborghini. 2 Astons in fact. One of them is not Chris Hildebrand. We'll have to get out there and put another lap in to see if he can improve on that. Ollie Masterson in the BMW. I do like this livery. I know it's an in-game livery, but still. Nice colour combination. The greys, the yellow, the white, and with the red row on the front. It's quite nice. Alright, so he's finished his lap up in P19. What about Paul Russell? He's on a good one right now. 3 tenths up on his best time. Be almost good enough to sneak onto the front row. Currently sitting P3 with less than 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. He'll be wanting to get off to a strong start. Had some bad luck at the beginning of last season. Also got to say the track selection this season, I don't think they could have done it any better. Music Racer, did they fix the track limits on this track? I don't think so. Not by the looks of my timing screen. A lot of invalidations and Russell remains in P4. I know that was an issue at the beginning, so we'll see if it proves to be an issue this evening. As we're entering the final 2 minutes of this qualifying session, the man on screen is leading the way at 1:30.805 is his best time. He's just bordering on being up on his best time right now. Just marginally down by about a tenth now. Who else is out there? Terry Rayton. No. Frost is invalidated. Lots of invalidated laps on my screen. And I think that one, he's 7 tenths down now on his best time. So that turn 12 caught him out. Lots of red still on my screen. Wally Masterson went green, but then he went into the pits. What about Harley Scotland? He's green. He's half a second up on his best time. That'll move him up a handful of spots if he can hold that pace. 7 tenths. Ooh, even further, bordering top 15. Less than a minute left, so these drivers are soon running out of chances to set a time. They're all chasing Lawrenson. Strelnikov is up there as well. Only a couple of tenths between him and Andrew Lawrenson. And there's not much of a gap between Rayton and Strelnikov as well. As Scotland, half a second up on his best time, goes into P18. What about Herbitron? He is up on his best time by almost 3/10. And he just lost a big chunk of time there, so don't think he's going to improve. Lawrenson's on another lap. He's down. Strelnikov is down. Once we finish here, we'll duck over to Terry Rayton, who's on a hot lap, as we are 4 seconds away from the clock going 000. There it is. So that's the last one for Herbitron. He goes up into P13, so good result for him. What about this man here, the other Laundry House racer, Terry Rayton? Oh, Heather Russell, back in the chat. Welcome back, Heather. We had the entire Russell family here at one stage, I think, last season. So, welcome back, Heather, one of our regulars. Terry Rayton, he's another regular. He is out on the track. He is down on his best time. So, Strelnikov's in the pits. So is Lawrenson. It looks like Andrew Lawrenson's got this sewn up here. So, another pole position for him, and the absolutely perfect way to start season number 2 of 2023. We've just got a handful of cars finishing off, but at 1:30.805 to Lawrenson. Rapid time from him. Strelnikov in second. What about Mark Hurley? 1:77 Ferrari. And there we go. There's the grid, but once again, this man, a very familiar face on pole position, Andrew Lawrenson. Congratulations, takes out pole position, the first of the season. Picking up where he left off from season number 1. You got Strelnikov in P2, Terry Rayton in 3rd, and then you got Paul Russell, Matt Frost, James Mack. Hey, James Mack! Good job, James Mack. Highest of the AM drivers, higher than any other silver driver as well, so very impressive from him. Ricker on debut in 7th, Latanzio 8th, Neil Fakeney. A special shout out to Neil Fakeney. He won the prize last week from our sponsors, Ignition Control Racing, who very generously donated a button box. And Neil was the person who actually ran the random spinner and was lucky enough that his name came up. So good work. Congratulations to Neil, and a big thank you to our sponsors, Ignition Control Racing, for donating that button box. It looked very, very nice indeed. So Neil is a very lucky man, and I hope he puts it to good use. So good luck for him tonight as well. And then Peter Wall rounding out the top 10. So in terms of teams, you've got there, if this was to remain as it is now, the top 3 from each manufacturer would score points. So Andrew Lawrenson and Paul Russell are the 2 highest Porsches. And then Mitch Marsh is racing. I thought I saw in the chat that he was feeling a bit under the weather. Anyway, they would be the top 3, but then opposed to Strelnikov, Rayton and Mack, they would be the top 3 in their manufacturers. They're all teammates by default because they're all driving the same manufacturer. So that's how the team's championship works this season. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Or do we want to do a little? Do we want to do a little tour of the circuit? Let's do that. Charles. There we go. Yeah, let's go have a look, of the track. So yeah, turn 1 here, the left-hander. So it's a short run into turn 1. So we'll see if we get any action through here. Trusted driver panel will of course look at any incidents on lap 1 automatically. Anything after that, and they will look at it only if it's lodged as a protest. That needs to be done after the race. So as we come here into, this is turn 2, Doohan corner, after the famous Mick Doohan, of course. Obviously, being Spain, a very, very motorcycle-centric country. Love their motorcycling. Have plenty of Spanish champions. Just had the Formula 1 in Spain, actually, at Barcelona. Another dominating victory by the reigning world champion, Max Verstappen, well on his way to championship number 3 for the Dutchman. Where's turn 12? Let's go have a look at it. Yeah, this little... yeah, have a look in here, see? So it's kind of like... See, because you got like these weird sort of little extra sausage lips, like little mini sausages. So you can see plenty of scuff marks there as well. So we'll see if this catches anyone out. We saw Andrew Lawrenson have a little moment through there earlier in qualifying. And I think I can hear the cars warming up. Oh, I did say that we'll have a look at... let's have a look at these cool laundry house liveries as well. I should just put it on the car, shouldn't I? Controls enabled. This is always a very dangerous thing to do. Actually, we'll skip that. We'll see if we can do it during the race. Anyway, there it is. There's my mouse. Here we go. That's a bit better. Sorry about that, everyone. That's what you get for mucking around. Anyway. Heather Russell. Good to see Paul back in the Porsche. Yes. Yeah, so Matthew Marsh is racing. All on the warm-up lap now. So this is Denis Strelnikov. Matt Frost down there as well. Settings. Should discuss settings, shouldn't I? Weather. So, ambient temperature, 22 degrees. Cloud level 0.1, rain at 0.05, and weather randomness at 2. There is a mandatory tyre stop, no refueling allowed, and a 45-minute pit window for this race. Fake me in there. Mark Hurley we saw in qualifying. Peter Hatfield, we'll see how he goes. Silver class driver. Paul Huddy tucked in behind him. Harley Scotland as well in there. Anthony Cesana, so our rating silver class champion, starting probably a little bit lower than what he'd like. And then Simeon Cocker as well, bringing up the rear in P23. But here we go. The helicopter view on this track is not great. Hopefully it gets a little bit better. There we are. That's better. So there it is. So round number 1, season 2 of 2023 is underway. Looks like Lawrenson got a pretty good jump. So did Paul Russell. He's making ground on Strelnikov as they go into turn 1. And looks like everyone's managed to get through without any dramas. Good stuff. Everyone through nice and clean. Lawrenson from Strelnikov from Russell. Looks like everyone managed to get through nice and clean though at the start. And it's Lawrenson leading the way. Just trying to get a sort of an idea of where the field is. Oh, that's a BMW going backwards. That's Masterson. Oh, that's John Stockton. He just gets bumped off there at turn number 6, the left-hander. But he's back on track, so he's dropped a whole heap of spots. He's down there in P22. And The helicopter view hasn't necessarily improved on this circuit after the update. We'll deal with it though, as Lawrenson leading the way from Strelnikov. Russell is tucked in behind him. Terry Rayton in there as well. Matt Frost. James Mack has had a strong start as well, as they come through to turn 14 for the first time this race. 60 minutes is our time limit, the sprint format. Across the line. Times start to flick through. And have a look at that field. 23 in the field this evening. And don't they look fantastic? They make their way down the front straight. Terry Rayton climbing all over the back of Paul Russell in the Porsche right now. So it's a Porsche Ferrari top four. It's good for the Manufacturers Championship. And Terry Rayton, Strelnikov just drops a couple of places there. Let's go to the replay and just see what happened there. So he's tucked in behind Lawrenson, and then, oh, a big slide. All right, he was lucky to gather that back up again too. And he rejoins the race behind Paul Russell, I do believe, at this stage, as we go back to live pictures. Oh, Terry Rayton has dropped down as well. So let's see if we can pick up what happened to Terry. So all over the back of Paul Russell while we're looking at the... Oh, he's just out-braked himself. He's just gone deep there. And he's gotten back going again. So just a little mistake there from Terry Rayton as we go back to live pictures right now. There we go. Make their way down the front straight again. Strelnikov tucked right under the rear wing of the Porsche. You could almost not see most of that Ferrari tucked in behind him. He was that close. But Paul Russell is going to defend for all he's worth here. He'll be hoping for a much better start to the season than this time last season. Still Lawrenson, a 2.4 second gap already. Strelnikov just throwing it across the curves right now. Got Frost and Rayton tucked in right behind him too. The field's still very compacted right now. Oh, Neil Fakeney and Dominiak. Oh, what's happened? Let's have a quick look on the replay. Halicam might give us a bit more of an idea. So we're with Fakeney. Oh, has he just lost the back end? Oh, that is really unfortunate for Carlos Dominiak there. He had absolutely nowhere to go, and yeah, he was just an innocent bystander. So we're back to live pictures again. Maybe Neil Fakeney used up all his luck last week when he got the button box from Ignition Controls Racing, because that was not very lucky at all for him. So back to Rayton hunting down Matt Frost, who just set the fastest lap of the race, 1:33.125. Making their way up the front straight again. Oh, that's Strelnikov putting the move on Paul Russell. So nice work from Dennis Strelnikov. He moves himself up into P2. Let's have a quick look at how that came about. Oh, he ran wide as well. Still was able to carry the momentum, send it up the inside, and gets the job done. So nice work there from Dennis Strelnikov. And as we go back to live pictures now, there we go. So looking at Terry Rayton. Already gone 5 minutes. Been a pretty action-packed 5 minutes already. Kept it nice and clean though, so good start to the season. So still Lawrenson leading the way, 2.5 seconds over Dennis Strelnikov, Russell, Frost, Rayton, Mack, Natanzio, Peter Wall, Matt Ricker, and Hatfield. Maybe it's not Matt Ricker, but you know what I mean. having a look at some of the other battles. So in terms of class, AM class, James Mack leading the way. So the reigning champion is off to a great start, defending his crown. And then Nando Latenzio is leader of the silver class right now. So strong starts for both of those guys. Just duck over to Wally Masterson. He's tucked under the rear wing of the Ferrari, belonging to Scotland. An AM driver. Going into turn 2. The Dylan left-hander. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. These guys are down here, 15th, 16th, 17th. So they're having a great old little battle down there. And Rayton, you might tuck back to him. So this is the view from on board. He's tucked under the rear wing belonging to Matt Frost in the Audi. And the pit window is now open. So a 45-minute pit window. So it's mandatory tyre stop, no refueling allowed. So these guys have got full tanks right now. As they head up the front straight one more time. That's Andrew Lawrenson out in front, Strelnikov in the foreground, Russell and Frost and Terry Rayton. So give you an idea of what it is at the front. Marsh, what's happened here? Go to the replay and we'll have a look. So it's him and Bridgens by the looks of things. Oh, he's just got on the AstroTurf and that's just a pure accident, that one. Oh, and then John Stockton again. He's had a horrible start to this race, John Stockton. As we go back to live pictures. So Marsh down there in P19. So if he was feeling a little bit under the weather, I could imagine he wouldn't be feeling much better now after that. Here's Chris Hildebrandt down in P12. He's one of the other AM drivers. Oh, Masterson. What's happened, Wally Masterson? Oh, that looks like it's a big hit. Let's see if we can go to the replay and find out what happened here. Oh, just clipped the curb and around he went. Unfortunate for him. That's where he finds himself. So we go back to live pictures. And this is Max Ricker putting the move down the inside of Peter Wall. That's into turn 14. That's a nice move. He gets that done. And he moves up a position, up into P8 right now. So strong start from Max Ricker on debut this season. Nando Latenzio just one spot up further than him. He's hunting down James Mack in the Ferrari. Wally Masterson, I think he might have had another issue there, but he's back underway again. The positions out in front. So Andrew Lawrence is still leading the way. 1.5 seconds is the gap between him and Denis Strelnikov. So that's come down by a second. Last lap was a 1:32.175 from Strelnikov, a 32.512 from Andrew Lawrenson. So a little bit faster on that last lap, and that's reflected in the gap there at 1.6 seconds, 1.7 now on my timing screen. We're watching Latenzio and James Mack. Might just duck away from them because some other cars are a little bit closer. Just trying to cover them. This is why we need the double screen. Anyway, here we go. Here's Mark Hurley. He's got Hatfield just in front of him. Looks like Cesana's been able to put the move on Scotland and moves himself up into P14. And go on board with Hurley. close enough on that occasion into turn 1. I think Huddy was going to have a go as well at Scotland. No, not on this trip around at turn 2. Oh, Bridgens has managed to get past Huddy. So there you go. So he's moved up into P16. Just a quick little view at the front of the field. These are the two drivers out in front right now. We're on board with Denis Strelnikov. That's the Porsche up ahead of Andrew Lawrenson. So that's what 1.6 seconds looks like in distance. Those two are a bit of a field of themselves. They're a few seconds up the road from Paul Russell, who's sitting in 3rd place. And you got Matt Frost and Terry Rayton. So that's 3rd, 4th and 5th you can see on the screen. And then 1st and 2nd a little bit further up the front straight there in the foreground. And then Ricker was looking racy against Latenzio, trying to find a way past him through turn 1. Very fast left-hander, turn 1. So 1.2 seconds now. Last lap, a 32.390 from Andrew Lawrenson. Strelnikov, a 32.230. So 1.5 tenths faster on the last lap, Strelnikov. So he's got the pace to match Lawrenson, if not beat him. Let's see how this unfolds. We're almost at the quarter race mark. Not far off it. And it's Lawrenson leading the way from Strelnikov, that you can see on the screen. John Stockton, despite his issues, he's finds himself in P19. Some gaggle of cars here. That's Marsh, Huddy and Bridgens just up ahead. I think someone's falling down the order, I think. Or have we lost one? We've still got 23 in the field. Oh, have a look at this action right here. This is Marsh, so Stockton and Will just following. Oh no, that's Bridgens. Let's see what happened there. Oh, he was already getting a little bit tail happy. And then Huddy looking to go around the outside. And then Bridgens, oh, he might have missed his brake marker. And then Scotland would have been wondering what is going on here as he gets taken out. So, just missed his braking marker there, Bridgens. We're back to live action. And out in front, it's still a second. So, last lap, a 32.397 to Lawrenson. A 32.460 to Strelnikov. So, Lawrenson held the advantage on that last lap around. We'll try to make sure we catch. I'll try to make sure I catch as much of the action up front. I'm just scanning through the rest of the field. Still some contested packs going on right now. Might have a look at them as we go up the front straight. So Rayton is another one. Oh, Peter Wall. What's happened, Peter Wall? Let's go to the replay and check it out. Through 13, a long left-hander. Oh, look at that. The back end just stepping out and almost went all the way. That kind of looked like he sort of almost meant that in the end. Strelnikov, look at that. He's as close as he's been all race right now. Tucked in right behind Lawrenson. He was 6 tenths faster on that last lap. So an issue with the Porsche has been the tyres going off relatively quickly. So I wonder if Andrew Lawrenson is experiencing that at the moment. That's been a pretty common issue. Not heard anything like that in the Ferrari, so potentially Andrew Lawrenson just maybe needing to nurse those tyres a little bit while he's got the hard charging Denis Strelnikov up behind. You can see the back end sliding again, out of 12 into 13. Strelnikov looking to make a move here, goes to the right, looking to go around the outside of turn 14. That's going to be the long way around. It's going to be a drag race up the front straight now. Denis Strelnikov is coming to win here. Tucks back into the slipstream of the Laundry House Porsche. There we go. And he makes it up the inside. And Denis Strelnikov is in the lead. Oh, Andrew Lawrenson almost lost it there coming out of turn 1. So I reckon those tyres would not be feeling very good. That's not a good sign either, because it's only 17 and a half minutes into a 60-minute race. And Andrew Lawrenson seems to be having some issues with his rear tyres right now, whereas Denis Strelnikov is not experiencing any such issues. And he ended up being 0.6 faster on that previous lap as well. So Strelnikov is in the lead of this one in the Ferrari, the 777 Ferrari. Car number 7, Simeon Coco. What happened to you, Simeon? Let's have a quick look on the replay. Oh, no, he's gone. Sorry. Let's see if this was just... We're still in the replay. Simeon Coco has gone. So I will go back to live pictures right now. There we are. And back at the front. So it's Andrew Lawrenson's turn now to stare at a rear wing. The rear wing of Denis Strelnikov. Have a look at lap times this trip around. 33 flat to Strelnikov and 33.450 to Lawrenson. So Denis just holding the advantage. Here's another Laundry House racer in a Ferrari though this time. Terry Rayton looking to go down the inside of Matt Frost. Going to challenge him into turn 2. Have the inside line here. And he's going to be able to hold it, but Frost will have the inside line for the right-hander of turn 4. And, oh, they made contact, and it's synchronized spinning there. We'll have another quick look at that on the replay. We'll go on board, and there you can see up the inside and then just spinning around. So those two will get back underway. That was looking like it would be a nice battle between those two, but they're down in 7th and 8th right now. So that's opened it up for, on debut, Max Ricker is now tucked into Nando Latenzio. So he's looking at a top 5 right now as we're almost a third race distance. And this is the battle out in front. Strelnikov leading from Lawrenson. Paul Russell in a bit of no man's land right now. He's 3.5 seconds back from these two. And he's about 4 seconds up the road from James Mack. So there he is. He'll be a little bit lonely, Paul Russell. And speaking of James Mack, he had a bit of an issue there at the final turn. Let's see what happened there. Oh, and he's just run deep. So we've seen a few drivers having issues with braking into that final turn. So it's claimed another victim, James Mack, reigning AM champion. Back to the battle out in front though. Last lap around, Strelnikov just held the margin by a couple of hundredths of a second. So literally nothing in it at the moment between these two. Paul Russell just lurking in the background. What's the lap times he's doing? 33 flat last time around. His best is a 32.380. Paul Russell, so he's really going to have to push it. Oh, look at the back end sliding out there from Andrew Lawrenson. He's pushing it as well right now. So great battle for the lead. Strodnikov just starting to eke out a minor lead. The gap is at 8/10. 32.4 that last lap around, a 33 flat from Strodnikov. So, from Lawrenson. So Strodnikov over half a second faster on that last lap around. And the gap at a second now. Neil Fakeney, on the other hand, he's right in there with Marsh, who's also struggling at the moment. And Fakeney able to take the position away. He moves into P15. So nice work there from Neil Fakeney. Bit of a recovery drive for him now. Here's Matt Frost. So this is where Terry Rayton and Matt Frost ended up. We've got a couple of drivers in the pits now as well. So one of them is Chris Hildebrand. He's the first driver to pit, I believe. And then Herbertron as well. So two drivers, 23 minutes into it at the moment. So seems to be what they've decided to do. Here's Frost. That's not a good camera angle. That's a better one. This is going into turn 8. Another left-hander, turn 9. And Matt Frost gets the job done. So he takes that position away from Terry Rayton. Moves himself up into P7 in the 666 Audi. The only Audi in the top 10. His teammate, Paul Huddy, is in P12 right now. We've got Stockton, Hildebrand and Atron all in the pits. Terry Rayton, though, not giving up without a fight. Harley Scotland has picked up a drive-through penalty. That'll be speeding in the pit lane. And there we go. So Terry Rayton, he will make his way into the pits as well. We pick up Max Ricker. He's in the thick of it right now. That was Herbertron, I think, just coming out of the pits. And that's Nando Latenzio too, that he's challenging right now in the Aston Martin. He's got the old Yosemite Sam sticker saying back off. Max Ricker's having none of it. Top 5 for him right now. He's got James Mack tucked in behind him too. There he goes in that black Ferrari. These guys fighting it out for 4th, 5th and 6th at the moment. Terry Rayton still in the pits. Let's see if we can get a bit of an idea on a par time. A minute 02 to Stockton, a minute 8 to Hildebrand and Atron. We'll see what Terry Rayton, see if he has to repair any damage. We continue to watch Ricker and Latenzio go at it with Mack in tow. Terry Rayton did a minute 3 total stop. So he was stopped for 34 seconds. Total pit time, a minute 3. And Harley Scotland had a bit of an issue there, but he's back underway by the looks of things. As Max Ricker comes into the pits. Dominiak and Scotland, I think, have swapped spots. Go back to Hurley. This is the two closest cars on the circuit. Speaking of close, it's 2.4 seconds, 2.3, 2+ seconds, the gap between Andrew Lawrenson and Denis Strodnikov. He's doing his best to hold the reigning champion at bay. Paul Russell still 3.3 seconds off these guys. He lapped a little bit slower than the other two that he's chasing as well. So he's got a little bit of work to do, but still in a very, very, very advantageous spot of P3. Nothing to sneeze at there. And we have a look at Carlos Dominiak. Might just do a quick little update of the classes. So Nando Latenzio, he's the highest of the silver runners. He's up there in P4. And you've got Wall and Cesana. So that's the podium for silver class. And then for AM class. It's James Mack leading the way, outright 5th. Outright 8th is Mark Hurley. And then Bridgens in P10. So 3 AM drivers in the top 10. You love to see it. Great to see these guys throwing their hat in the ring as well. So a nice mix of pro and silver. Plenty of cars in the pits at the moment. Huddy, Marsh, Fakeney, Masterson. They're all coming out now. We go back to Carlos Dominiak all over the back of Bridgens. So Dominiak will want to enter himself into the top 10. Race has certainly settled into a nice rhythm. We're working our way through completing the pit stops. Almost half the field have made their stop already, and we're still just a tick under 3 minutes away. There we go. Carlos Dominiak, he's decided now is the time. And then back to James Mack chasing down Latanzio. These two are in 4th and 5th. So top 5 placing at this stage. These two would be very, very happy with that. The gap between Strelnikov and Lawrenson is still 2.7 seconds. So keeping an eye. Oh, Lawrenson in the pits. Here we go. And I think that's... Oh, Paul Russell coming into the pits as well. That is one of the Ferraris. Which one? I think that's Harley Scotland as well. He's got some sort of battle scars on the rear of that Ferrari. So Lawrenson's hit his marks. What about Paul Russell? You didn't really see Paul Russell having too many issues with control. There he goes. He's all good. We'll go back to James Mack and Latanzio duking it out. They're in the top 3 now, but obviously still need to make their stops. And a couple little battle scars there on the right-hand side of the Aston Martin belonging to Latanzio. What did he race last season? I think it was a Honda last season. There you go. There's a good shot of it. You can see. Through the left-hander of turn 8. So these are the 2 closest cars. Let's see Lawrenson. Oh, Lawrenson was a quick pit stop. So 32 seconds stopped, total stopped. Total pit time a minute 1. Paul Russell was quicker. 31 seconds total stopped for a total of a minute 1. So identical totals time, but it's a second quicker for the actual stop. And a minute 1 is the best time I've seen on my screen. Here's Latanzio. Clock will start for him. Strelnikov is in the pits now as well. So let's keep an eye on where Lawrenson is. So he's just coming through, I think that's 10 into 11. Strelnikov's last lap time, 1:38.5, but that would be because he would have gone into the pits. He's stopped. And here's Lawrenson coming through 13. He's got about another 15 seconds. Ooh, 10 or 11 seconds, sorry. I reckon this is going to be pretty tight. Lawrenson's probably going to do him here. Oh, no. Here we go. Lawrenson, Strelnikov. Oh, it's going to be super close. Oh, there he is. There's Strelnikov. So he made a perfect stop. A minute total. That's the fastest pit stop of the race. Stopped for only 32 seconds. Total pit stop. Bang on 1 minute. So that's the fastest stop of the race. And that has helped put him in P1 right now with a gap of 1.3, 1.4 seconds. So great stuff from Denis Strelnikov. James Mack, de facto race leader. He's in the pits at the moment. So he'll no doubt relinquish the lead. Peter Wall is in there too. So that would only leave 2 more drivers to pit, Susanna and Bridgens. As we see Lawrenson once again throwing it through turn 12. Porsche looking resplendent in the new style laundry house livery. And these two will make their way past as Susanna, Mack and Wall are all in the pits. So that means that Denis Strelnikov will now be the race leader with just under 28 minutes left in round number 1 of season 2 for 2023, the Monday night Race on Ice PC League. Hope you're enjoying the stream. If you are, please leave a like and leave a subscribe if you haven't already. We're only 4 away from 500 subscribers. It would be a phenomenal effort if we could get to the magical 500 tonight. That would be awesome. Plenty of action on the network as well. We've got PC for these guys. We've got Pan Am Racing PC. And then we've got Console League as well. So plenty of action to keep you occupied. Well worth the investment of $0. And you get some great sim racing as well. So let's have a look. So outright leader is Strelnikov. I'm so used to saying Andrew Lawrenson. Denis Strelnikov leading the race right now. Andrew Lawrenson in P2. This man on screen. He's on screen there now. Paul Russell. So that's your podium for the outright. For AM class, you got James Mack. Where are you, James Mack? There he is in the Ferrari. Then you got Mark Hurley. And then you have Chris Hildebrandt in another AM driver. So that's your top 3 for those guys. And then for silver, it's Nando Latenzio leading the class from Peter Wall and Paul Huddy in the final podium place. So that gives you a bit of an overall picture of the race as well as the classes. And we've got a bit of action going on right now. This is Neil Fakeney. He's hunting down Marsh. Going through turn 10 there. Turn 11, sorry. So Dominiak a little bit further behind, just trying to pick up some on-track action. A little bit of slim pickings at the moment. So everyone's stopped. Might be a good idea to see if we can see who's been our biggest risers and fallers, and we're on one of them. So Neil Fakeney, he started 9th. He's one of the largest fallers. So Chris Hildebrandt started 17th. He's in 11th. And you got Anthony Cesana, started 20th, currently in 14th. Yeah, Neil Fakeney, unfortunately. He started P9, down in 16th. And Carlos Dominiak, he started 11th. He's down in 19th. So, gives you an idea on some of the risers and fallers. We go on board with Fakeney. Oh, closing up the gap rapidly through turn 8. Almost made contact. He's got Marsh ahead. The gap out in front between Strelnikov and Lawrenson is 2.3 seconds. These are 2 of the closest cars on the circuit. Dominiak and Masterson are the other 2, down in 18th and 19th. In terms of lap times, Strelnikov, last lap around at 31.670. Lawrenson to 32 flat. So Strelnikov continuing to have a pace advantage over Lawrenson. Dominiak, wishing he had the same, as Fakey manages to get past Marsh. Let's have a look and see how that happens. Oh, here we go, out of turn 1. Both of them were a little bit wild through there, but Fakey was the lesser of the two, and he manages to sneak through to take P15 away from Marsh. So Fakey trying to have a bit of a recovery drive at the moment. Here's Paul Huddy. He's got Herbertron just ahead of him. He's 4th in class right now, 12th outright. So 2 AM drivers in the top 10. Really good signs at the moment for those guys. This is on board with Huddy. See if he puts a move into turn 1. Oh, and looks like Herbertron's just letting him go through there. Perhaps happy to concede to a faster driver coming through. Yeah, he was almost 8/10 faster on that last lap, Huddy over Herbertron. So decides to make his and Huddy's life a little bit easier. Matt Frost has just been hounding James Mack for a little while here. Mack started 6th, is 6th, so having a good run. The defending AM champion. Highest AM driver as well, 6th outright. 5.7 seconds down the road from Terry Rayton. So it's all pretty spread out at the front. 4 seconds is the gap between Lawrence and Strelnikov. So the race for the lead at the moment, it's all quiet. 7/10 faster on that last lap with Strelnikov. Oh, it's Masterson and Dominiak. Looks like they swap positions. We'll go to the replay. Maybe he's sending it up the inside. I think that's out of turn 6. And then they're going to go into 7 and 8. So nice work from Dominiak in the Lamborghini. Also got Fakey and Susanna continuing to battle it out. Only 3/10 the gap between Susanna and Fakey in 14th and 15th. Almost 2/3 race distance. Entering the final third, final 20 minutes of this one. Round number 1 for Race on Oz PC. Strong turnout, 23 cars on the grid. Good to see a lot of familiar names and some new names as well, even better. The league is nice and healthy. Here's Matt Frost. Here we go. Look how close they are right now. Down the front straight into turn 1. Make a little bit of contact there. And manages to get through and take that position away. So Frost moves ahead of Mack. Now occupying P6 in the very familiar 666. In the Audi though, very used to seeing him in a Ferrari. Not this season though. He's chosen something different. There's Neil Fakey again, Anthony Susanna. So this little grouping here of Herbertron, Susanna and Fakey battling it out for 13th, 14th, 15th. In terms of class, Susanna and Fakey are 4th and 5th in class. Herbertron's 4th in class at the moment. AM being led by James Mack right now. Nando Latenzio in silver. In terms of the race at the front, Strelnikov continues to stretch the gap. He was significantly faster on that last lap. So Strelnikov was a 31.507 Lawrenson was a 32.895, so significant difference in lap speed on that previous lap between Strelnikov and Lawrenson. So Dennis looking to really take a stranglehold on this race, and with less than 20 minutes to go, he's looking very strong in the 777 Ferrari. 3 Ferraris in the top 7, and we've got a Ferrari on the grass there. Was that Mark Hurley? I'm not too sure who it was. Get back to these two here, Susanna and Fakey. They've got Herbertron just up ahead. Got 3 Lamborghinis, 13th, 14th and 15th. Whose tune there's the fastest? That's Huddy up ahead, so that is 4th position. Sorry, wrong one. And that's Fakey going ahead of Susanna there. So nice work from Neil Fakey. Marsh in the pits as well, so that's unscheduled. Oh, drive-through penalty. Yep, there we go. So that explains it. So back to the action. Herbertron, Fakey and Susanna, 13th, 14th, 15th. James Mack just under a second behind Matt Frost. 6.1 seconds the gap between Strelnikov and Lawrenson. So the battle for the lead is not really happening right now. Oh, John Stockton. In the meantime, let's stay with this. Fakey and Herbertron. So Neil Fakey manages to get through. This is a nice little battle between these 3 cars. But Fakey overtakes Herbertron, so he's now moved up to P13. So Fakey started P9. So he's dropped 4 spots. This is Susanna. What happened to... Oh yeah, that's Herbertron. And he gets the move done, Susanna. And he puts the Lamborghini of Herbertron in the rear view mirror. So Fakey and Susanna up into 13th and 14th. Let's have a look at James Mack here. So he's within half a second now of Matt Frost. Going through the fast turn 1 there. What about Dominiak? He's all over the back of Stockton now. I think Stockton had an issue on the last lap. Dominiak's all over the back of him now in the Ferrari. Very nicely turned out Ferrari, I must say. Lots of work goes into these liveries. Going through turn 13 with the car out wide. See how it goes here. Lamborghini versus Ferrari, the old rivals. No significant pace advantage there for Dominiak. So we've got less than a quarter of an hour left, 14 minutes to be precise. And it's Strelnikov leading by 6.5 seconds is the gap between him and Andrew Lawrenson. Continue to watch. Fakney and Dominiak and Stockton going at it there. Just cut me off. Continue to watch this. Oh, Stockton runs a little bit wide. Oh no! That was who was that? Was that Andrew Lawrenson coming through there as well? Let's have a quick look at the replay. Might see it better from Hallicam. So that's Stockton. Just runs a little bit deep, turns around, and then snaps back. And Dominiak nowhere to go. Sorry, Dominiak nowhere to go. Unfortunately, we've seen a couple of them tonight. Just a little bit of bad luck. And now I'm just hunting for a little bit of action on the track. It's all relatively quiet out there, relatively big gaps, and this race just beginning to peter out a little bit. James Mack and Frost continue to do battle. Last lap around, a 32.295 to Frost, a 32.957 to Mack, so a bit of an advantage for Frost in the 666 Audi. Good opportunity to plug the channel if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button there. Not far away. I think we're 3 or 4 away from 500 subscribers. A monumental occasion if we can get to 500. $4.96. There you go. So we're only 4 away. Less than 4 away for Frost and Mack. So they're in 6th and 7th. Oh, what happened to John Stockton? He's dropped a couple of spots there. I wonder if he's having some issues. Oh, Herbertron spins around. That's at turn 14. Let's just see what happened there. So going through 13 here. Back end got to come around. Yeah, it does. Just got on that AstroTurf there. So we've seen a few drivers struggling through there tonight. So he's not the only one. We go back to Fakney and Huddy now. So as we approach the final 10 minutes, it's James Mack leading the AM class. It is Hurley and Hildebrand on the podium there. Silver. Latanzio leading the way in class from Peter Wall. And Huddy, who we're looking at right here. This is for the final podium position, in fact, in silver. We've got plenty to play for right now. Understeer through 12. See how he goes through 14. Yeah, no dramas through there. Runs a little bit wide, builds that momentum. It's a fast left-hander, 4th gear. Nice and flowing through there. Gap between Lawrence and Strelnikov, 8 seconds. Here's the difference between the two. And yeah, there's honestly not too much to talk about. It is, it's all just petering out. Plenty of large gaps. We've still got 21 runners, which is really good. Started with 23, so we've only had 2 drop off. It's a pretty good attrition rate given the first race of the season. You sometimes find people a little bit rusty, end up dropping out pretty quickly, but been a good effort from everyone. Paul Huddy, oh, he's getting all the back end all crossed up there. And that's the change for the podium position. Let's see how that came about for Huddy. Might go on board with him. Oh, yeah, there it was. And that back end just stepping out. So those, and that was Fakeney just swooping through. As we go back to live pictures in a moment. And I think Herbertron might have had a bit of an issue as well. No, he looks like... Oh, yeah. That's through out of 12. I think he was just letting faster drivers through there. So, a little bit of an excursion. Here's Dominiak. Once again, going to move past the BMW of Wally Masterson. Chucks it through turn 1. It looks like there's some very tired set of tyres out there on a lot of these guys. 7.5 minutes left, and I dare say most of these guys will be hoping that flies by pretty quick. Pit window is closed as Matthew Marsh slips by Herbertron. So the 33 Porsche have it. Oh, John Stockton. Nah. See how that came about just on the replay. Out of turn 1, so we've seen this a couple of times already. And then, yeah, gets past and gets the move done. That's Terry Rayton in the Ferrari there, so he's up on lap traffic at the moment. As we get back to live pictures. And there's Terry just scooting through. So Dominiak and Masterson, 15th and 16th. 6/10 the difference. They're the two closest cars on the circuit. Strelnikov and Lawrenson continue the gap. 6.8 seconds the difference between the two. Last lap for Strelnikov was 32.330 and 32.395 belonging to Lawrenson. And Paul Russell not really able to make much headway at the either at the moment. He's at 32.982. So yeah, he's a fair way up the road from Max Ricker on debut in P4, so he's putting in a great job. This is Matt Frost just trying to get a bit of a tow there from Herbertron. He's doing that because he's got James Mack on his right on his tail, so he's looking to try and hold on to 6th position at the moment. Last lap around of 32.622 to Frost of 555 to James Mack, so just a little bit slower from Frost that last lap around. James Mack hunting him down. Mack, the AM class leader over Hurley and Hildebrandt. Oh, this one you also don't have. Chris Cooley is not here. And who else was it? Drove a Mercedes last season. So we're missing a few fast guys actually. Not to say these guys aren't fast out here, but there's a few guys that we're missing at the moment. So we'll see if they decide to join us a little bit later in the season. In the meantime, we'll focus on Dominiak again, on Masterson as we go on board with Carlos. They're down in 15th and 16th. Going to follow him through 4 and 5 here as we're edging ever closer to the finale of this one. 4 minutes left and it's an 8.4 second gap between Strelnikov and Lawrenson. Russell in 3rd. That's the podium for outright. James Mack leading the AM class from Hurley and Hildebrandt. And then Latanzio, Wall and Fakeney. We're watching a couple of other silver drivers, Masterson and Dominiak, do their thing. Next week's race going to be at Indy. Very, very fun circuit, Indianapolis. Part of the American track DLC. So a couple of DLC tracks to start things off for season 2 of 2023. And then I can't remember what the third circuit is, and we'll have a little break after that. Things just playing out here. The gap has widened 4/10 faster on that last lap of Strelnikov, so he's got bordering on a 10-second gap at the moment between him and Lawrenson. Paul Russell not really able to make any inroads to those two, so he's 9.7 seconds behind. Further 9 seconds down the road is Ricker. And then you got Rayton 32.4 that last lap around, so that's not too bad. Off his best lap of a 1:31.695, but wouldn't expect to be seeing fast times at this stage of the race given tyre quality. And Huddy, so he's making his way into the pits. This is definitely unscheduled. So he was looking at 5th outright in class. 5th in class, sorry. 14th outright. And he's serving a drive-through penalty. That is why. So he serves that. That's a big blow at this stage of the race. Where's Masterson? He's going to come through. Huddy, Masterson. And they're going to get through. And there's Huddy now. So he'll give chase for the final less than 90 seconds. And this one's over, bar the shouting. Wasn't Cale in the Merc? Yeah, that's it. Ethan Cale, I think his name was. Heather Russell. Good work, Heather. What a legend. Ethan Cale. And then Chris Cooley. Yeah, Cale was in the Merc. Cooley was in the Aston Martin. So yeah, it's a couple of quick guys that were missing. And then Bruno Gallo as well. He was in the Porsche last season. So we'll see if their names appear in the next round or the rounds after that. But we're going to focus on who we've got here right now. And Denis Strelnikov is one of those names. And I reckon...
Final lap now.
There it is. The leader is on the final lap. Denis Strelnikov. He's got 14 turns to negotiate before he takes out race victory for round 1 of the season. And it looks like Andrew Lawrenson might have a bit of a challenger to deal with. Lawrenson in second, and then, yeah, there he is. Not seen too much of him tonight. And then Paul Russell as well. He's had a great race. Great start for him. In a podium position. Does not want to throw it away right now. Turning the car around as Strelnikov making his way through the left-hander of turn 8. Handful of turns left. He started in P2 and he's only had to move up one spot. That one spot was occupied by Andrew Lawrenson, so that's no easy task. Put the pressure on early. Had a rapid pit stop and he's put it all together, and he just has one final turn to pass through. It hits the apex nice and clean. Congratulations, Denis Strelnikov is race victor, round number 1 for season 2. Well done to him. Takes victory. Andrew Lawrenson in the Porsche coming home in P2 right now. So he crosses the line. Well done to Andrew Lawrenson. And then Paul Russell in that very nicely presented Jack Daniels Porsche. And isn't he happy about it as well? Congratulations, Paul Russell, P3. Max Ricker on debut in the BMW, the highest BMW, the only one in the top 5, top 10 in fact. Congratulations, Max Ricker. Terry Rayton comes home in P5. Matt Frost in 6th. Congratulations, James Mack, the class winner for AM. Well done to him. See if we can get your livery next week. Latanzio is the class winner for silver. Peter Wall, he's in P2 for the silver class. Congratulations to him as he crosses the line. Mark Hurley, he's second in the AM class. Just coming through turn 14 now. Here he comes. Well done to Mark Hurley. P2 in AM in round 1. Good start to the season. Chris Hildebrandt coming home in 11th, but a 3rd in class. Congratulations. And Neil Fakeney taking home the final podium position in the silver classes as well. Well done to Neil Fakeney, P12 outright. And that is the standings for round number 1 of the Race on Oz PC League. Have a look at the timetable. So overall, this is what it looks like. AM class, so Mac, Hurley, Hildebrand, Atron, Bridge and Scotland. And then you've got silver, so Latanzio, Wall and Fakeney, Susanna Masterson and the rest through there. And the overall. So there you go. Qualifying, it was Lawrenson on pole position. And he dropped down to P2. Terry Rayton, so he'd be a bit dirty with his race. Case of what could have been. And Paul Russell, 4th to 3rd. Well done to him. And then that was the race. Cool. Well, congratulations, Dennis. He is the round 1 victor. A very, very well-deserved effort. And beating Andrew Lawrenson, that is no easy feat. All right, everyone. That is that. So that is round number 1 in the books. Oh, hang on. That's round number 1 in the books. All done. We are moving to round number 2 next week. It is going to be at Indianapolis. So exciting times ahead. All right. In the meantime, everyone, take care of yourselves. Have a great week. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Heather Russell, a pleasure as always. Music Racer, James Pierre Reed, Paulie was in there as well. Thank you to all those in the chat. Thank you all those to watching and for the likes. And if you can, we're 4 subscribers away from 500. So if you can, if you haven't already, please do so, whether you're watching this live or on delay. But that is it for this evening. Until next time, my name is Nick. See you.